Welcome as we celebrate another year of honoring veterans. This is not a Memorial Day. This is a day that we honor those that are living. As you look into the audience, you see many of us with hats and some of us that do not have on the hats that say that we serve this country with honor and glory and pride. So today we celebrate Veterans Day in these United States Virgin Islands. We will start, as always, with a blessing and prayers with the invocation by Comrade Alvin Milligan from the American Legion Post 133. He is the chaplain.
Let us stand, please. Troops, uncover. Let us pray. O God of hosts, we bow our heads in thankfulness for the victories thou hast granted us, and to those peoples who have united us to stamp out the evil of aggression, intolerance, and greed. We beseech thee to bring the blessings of understanding to the families and friends in this and other lands, of those who have given their lives that men may be free. Grant, O God, that those closest to the fallen may mingle the pain of their loss with the ennobling light of sacrifice for salvation. Sacrifice for a better world, for this and other generations yet unborn. Grant us now thy continued blessing upon unity and strength that makes victories possible in wars, that we may win greater victories of peace. Amen. Amen.
Recover. Please remain standing with the national anthem and the Virgin Islands March. Present arms. please remain standing as we pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you can see, we are splitting the Mr. and Master of Ceremony, and I will be with you for a few minutes. I will now introduce to you Mr. Patrick Farrell, the Director of Veterans Affairs, for the welcome and introduction of the platform guests.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. There's two of me. All right, so if I can ask Mr. Engineer to please reduce the delay on the mics. Hello. Okay, I'll try it while he... Okay, awesome. Thank you. Sounds so much better. Again, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a very, very long day, and I bring greetings from across the territory because, you know, that's exactly where we have been today. So I've been given the honor to introduce to you our platform guest today. Of course, starting with the Honorable Governor Albert Bryan Jr. Representing the delegate to Congress, Ms. Candia Rivera. The Vice President of the 34th Legislature, the Honorable Norville E. Francis. Representing the Adjutant General, Kojo Knox Limberger, is the Colonel Matherin Lee. Our honoree for today, for the island of St. Croix, Past Commander Charles David. So now we know why we have so many people in attendance. We also have with us the Department Commander of the American Legion of Puerto Rico, and let me tell you a little bit about that. The American Legion in the Virgin Islands has 5 different posts. Post number 85, post number 90, 102, 131, and 133. And also the District 10 headquarters. They all fall under the Department of Puerto Rico. So Commander Carmen Rosario is the commander of the American Legion for the entire Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. Carmen Rosario. Of course, you've met the Mr. and Mistress of Ceremonies, and I am your Director of the Virgin Islands Office of Veterans Affairs, Patrick Farrell. I want to say, with today being Veterans Day, we have veterans that we don't even know that are veterans in the territory. But the ones that you know for sure are veterans, I ask you to continue saying thank you to them. And before I even go any further, I want to say a special good afternoon to what I call my partners in the business. In the Office of Veterans Affairs, I speak of none other than the American Legion and its auxiliary. Thank you so very much for being our partner. We continue to do our best to enhance the quality of life for our veterans and their families here in the territory. So thank you for that. As you see, I'm here fumbling with a piece of plastic. Yeah, you noticed that, didn't you? What this is a bunch of envelopes. If I can ask those that are veterans in the audience to please stand for a minute. Veterans, can you please stand? Ms. Gordon, can you come forward for a second, please? What I have here is envelopes from students of an elementary school that they wanted me to give as much as we have available to veterans of this territory to say thank you. These are personalized letters, and they also left, there's information on there where you are able to reach out and say thank you to those students for giving these letters. I thought this was a very, very good gesture. So I'm gonna ask Ms. Gordon to help me out. So if you please help out a second. Just give one to each veteran, please, that is standing. And while she's doing that, you know, as you call names, you always get in trouble because somebody or some group is left out. And how dare me leave out my good colleagues of the Governor's Cabinet. Good afternoon to you all. It's good to see you and thanks for your support. Also, I do want to mention the members of the 34th Legislature. I saw Senator Gittins, I saw Senator Javon James, I saw Senator Carrion, I saw Senator Whitaker, I saw Senator Frankie Johnson. Did I miss any other senators? I see past Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen, good afternoon. Past Senator Diane Capehart, and a hopeful to be our senator just now. Anybody else did I miss? Oh, I said Javon James. I won't leave you out. You know I won't do that. So, again, thank you all for coming here. Please, those of you veterans that got those letters, reach back out to the students and say a hearty thank you to them. You know, I really, again, thought it was a very good gesture. So, with that, I'm going to allow the program to go on. Thank you so very much for coming out this evening. Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay, as we continue, we have remarks by yours truly. Secondino Roman Cruz. I am the commander, the district commander for District 10, the American Legion. And I want to thank each and every one of you for taking your time and coming this hot afternoon, okay, and little shower to make it much easier. Being the first of my tenure of having the Veterans Parade, it has been not a difficult task because I am honored to have the past district commander who has been tremendous, Commander David, and my first vice commander for Post 102, Annie Day Henry. Thank you both. And everyone else, Post 133, for putting things together. I just want to say that we should be very, very thankful to Almighty for being able to be here today. When we as veterans leave our territory and went out to do our duty, we left behind our loved ones. And we thank God for having taken care of us while we were away and from bringing us back to our family. So it is an honor to be here today and celebrating Veterans Day with you all. I've seen crowds. This is a very fair crowd that we have today, but thank you. I always complain about Veterans Day and Memorial Day Parade because we have to struggle to get people to join us. And it's, again, I cannot be more than thank you. And it is, again, an honor. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It's none other than to follow the Honorable Noble Francis, who friendly I call Franco, We worked many, many years together in the police department, and we are buddies, okay? This is not a senator and me, it's just we are buddies. So I leave none other to you but the Honorable Noble Francis.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much. Secondino Roman Cruz, Honorable Governor Bryan, Senators Whitaker, Johnson, Carrion, James. I saw Senator Vielle on the parade route, former Senator Hansen, former Senator Capehart, Director Farrell, Governor's Cabinet, other distinguished guests here today, the representative, Ms. Rivera, representing the delegate this afternoon. Today, on this Veteran Day, I join all Virgin Islanders and our nation in thanking all those whose service and sacrifice has helped to shape our territory and country for what it is today. Thank you, veterans, for your unselfishly placing your lives on line for our freedom. Today, we take the time to honor, as the theme so fitting says, the designation of Command Sergeant Major Charles David as the honoree for the St. Croix District is especially fitting. I've had the privilege of working with men and women who serve with Command Sergeant David during his time with the Virgin Islands National Guard on a resolution to honor him for his leadership and service. I look forward to bringing this resolution to the floor later on this month. Once again, a round of applause for Command Sergeant Major Charles David. Our veterans were ordinary men and women until they heard the call of duty and answered it. Our veterans left their families, home, and their lives, not for recognition or fame, or even for the honor we are bestowing upon them today. They fought to protect our country and to maintain our way of life. As we honor our veterans and remember their great deeds, let us all pause and salute those who are currently fighting for our freedom. Veterans Day isn't just for veterans. It is a day for all Virgin Islanders. It is a day to remember why our brave men and women were fighting for us. Their bravery began with the journey of protecting our freedom and the freedom of future generations. So on this day and every day, on behalf of a grateful territory, I say thank you to every man and woman who has ever worn the uniform. Thank you to those who selflessly secured our promise throughout our history. I would also like to say a heartfelt thank you to their families whose service and sacrifice also matter. Being the father and a spouse of a veteran, I could have that appreciation again for their families and their sacrifice as well. I believe five-star American General Douglas MacArthur said it best when he said, duty, honor, country, those three hollow words reverently dictate what you ought to be, what you can be, and what you will be. May God continue to bless the men and women who have stood and continue to stand on the front lines for all of us and to bring us hope for a peaceful future. God bless you all. God bless our beautiful Virgin Islands, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Francis, for those inspiring words. Now we'll be entertained by the 73rd Army Band with a selection. Thank you very much. And now back to Annie Day Henry, and she will continue introducing the keynote speaker.
It is with great honor and pride that I introduce to you the keynote speaker for this Veterans Day celebration. Commander Carmen I. Rosario Diaz is a native and resident of St. Just, Puerto Rico. She comes from a patriotic family. Her father, Jose A. Rosario, a Korean War veteran and a Purple Heart recipient. Two veteran brothers, Jose, deceased, and Angel, and children, William and Renee, who served and were wounded in the Afghanistan and Iraq conflicts. In 1970, she completed a bachelor's degree in nursing at the Metropolitan University. The commander served as a registered nurse. At the same time, she was a police officer in Puerto Rico. I guess she practiced before going into the military with being a policeman and how to deal with uncooperative persons, which could be the enemy. In October 1994, she joined the Army and was commissioned as a first lieutenant in the Army Nursing Corps on January 4th, 1994. She completed her officer's basic course at Fort Sam Houston, San Antonio, Texas, and later Commander Rosario was assigned to the 212 Mass Unit Combat Support Hospital in Heidelberg, Germany, and was promoted to captain. She was deployed to Africa, Croatia, and Bosnia. Honorably retired from the Army April 1997. During her Army career, she received a master's degree in nursing from the University of Maryland. Commander Rosario is the first, I have to say that again, the first female to serve as the American Legion Department of Puerto Rico as the department commander since it was established 99 years ago. All right. Thanks to her efforts, post Jose Alvarez, post number 66, she has received the following awards: Roberto Gonzalez Award, the Fupol Award, the Cuchicol Award for Post of the Year. She is the commander over Puerto Rico, our United States Virgin Islands, and the Dominican Republic. She's had various positions: post adjutant, vice commander, district commander, department vice commander. Served on many committees: Americanism, High School Oratorical, Veteran Experience Committee, chaired Relay for Life Committee, the American Cancer Society. Many awards: Golden Brigade 2019, where she recruited over 50 new Legionnaires. Recruiter of the Year, Legionnaire of the Year 2019. And again, Golden Brigade 2022 recruited over 50 new members. And Recruiter of the Year again for 2022. Commander Rosario is the proud mother of 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls. William, as I told you, and Renee are veterans and were wounded during their service. I am honored to present to you my colleague as a registered nurse myself, comrade as a Legionnaire, one of her vice commanders, and proudly the first female to serve as the American Legion Department of Puerto Rico Commander. Please stand. Please stand. These are honors. As we welcome our first female commander of the American Legion Department of Puerto Rico as she comes to the podium. Commander Rosario.
I think I got to lower this, right? I thank you. Good afternoon. Protocol has already been established. Mr. Governor, distinguished guests, fellow veteran, family, and friends. Today is a day to honor all men and women who served in the U.S. military. There are approximately 19 million U.S. veterans who are still with us today, and the millions who have preceded them since the American Revolution. The service of America's veterans never truly ends, even when they hang up their military uniforms for the last time. Many still choose to protect us. Many serve their communities as first responders, teachers, healthcare workers, or church leaders. Some are business owners, farmers, company workers, or retirees. Veterans are a diverse group represented by men and women of every economic, ethnic, and religious background. They come from every state and territory, but are bound by one common commitment: to defend America with their life if called upon. Veterans have a record of remarkable accomplishments throughout our nation's history. Military service is not for the faint of heart. Most civilians' jobs do not require risk to life or limb. No other occupation subjects employees to criminal charges for disobeying their bosses. Unlike members of the military, civilians can live where they want and can quit whenever they want. Traditional challenges, the stress of military life, and feelings of isolation all factors into a suicide rate among us veterans that are more than 50% higher than that of non-veteran adults. The stigma of seeking help needs to end. If we are going to stop suicide, it is crucial that we look at this issue much. Oh, it was getting wet. Okay, thank you. We look at this issue much differently than prior generations. If we wait for someone to make an attempt before we reach out, there is a very good chance that it will be too late. Veterans value courage, and it takes courage to ask for help. We must be proactive. Act and encourage veterans to seek help before they pass a point of no return. The bonds that we formed in the military are unlike any other. A good American Legion post fosters an environment that helps continue such bonds and creates new ones. Very few of us are trained counselors or mental health professionals, but we are capable of listening, referring, and following up. The National Crisis Line still works, but now there is an even shorter number. It's 988, extension 1 for veterans. Most kindergartners know what 911 is for. It's up to us to ensure that 988 becomes just as widely known. By calling 988 now, we can prevent a 911 call later. The American Legion also has a Be the One website, www.betheone.org. Visit it, learn from it, spread the word about it. Homelessness is another tragic outcome that is too often connected to military service. It is estimated that America has 60,000 veterans who are homeless. That is greater than the entire population of St. Croix, Virgin Islands. Though veterans comprise approximately 7% of the U.S. population, they are 11% of our nation's homeless. The best way to prevent a veteran from becoming homeless is to hire one. It is not only good policy, but it's smart business for an employer who values skills, discipline, and patriotism. It is fitting that Veterans Day be observed so close to Election Day. It is, after all, the veterans who have preserved our constitutional rights for 246 years. For many of them, this nation was worth enduring long separations from their families, missing the birth of their children, freezing in sub-zero temperatures, sweating in the Sahara, sacrificing their health, and far too often losing their lives. When a politician laments the cost of a veterans program, it is up to us to remind them of the cost of being a veteran. Whether it's exposure to burn pits or other toxins, many veterans today continue to pay a high price for their military service. It is up to us to ensure that they always have access to high-quality health care and benefits reflecting the thanks of a great nation. 104 years ago, on November 11th, 1918, the guns of the world fell silent. An armistice was signed, and the Great War was over. Unfortunately, World War I was not the war to end all wars, as many had hoped. Veterans are not only responsible for defending this nation during time of war, but it is the imposing presence of our great military that has acted as a deterrent to would-be aggressors. The veterans of the United States military have not only fought wars, they deserve our gratitude for preventing them. And while today we rejoice and honor the service of Americans' veterans, we also remember the wise words of General Douglas MacArthur, the soldier above all other people, prays for peace. God bless you all for being here. God bless our veterans, and God bless America. Governor Bryant, I would like to express my gratitude, especially to the Legionnaires of St. Croix, for this wonderful opportunity to address our heroes here on this beautiful island of St. Croix. Thank you.
Thank you, Commander. We will now have a musical selection by the 73rd Army Band honoring 5 branches of the military. Any Navy, please stand. We now have the Air Force. Air Force. The United States Coast Guard. Any member? Thank you for your service. Hop, hop. Army.
Sing a song with the army of the free. Come to bring, come to true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim.
Wonderful. I will have an announcement now by Director Farrell.
I do apologize for jumping in the line again here, but it's not really an announcement. Any leader can acknowledge when they have done wrong and even publicly apologize. So I have a public apology. The 73rd Army Band had a concert last night. They got up early this morning, marched in a parade about 2 miles on St. Thomas, flew over to St. Croix, marched maybe another 2 miles, and I, Director Farrell, have them standing there for hours. So, my public apology to you, sir and ma'am, and I am telling you now that next year you will have a tent and cheers for you and your band. I humbly apologize. Awesome job. Love you.
Rain, sleep, snow, storms, that's the difference in a veteran. When it rained, everyone run for shelter. The 73rd Band just proved rain does not stop us from doing the job to give you freedom. Thank you. We had a parade marshal today and an honoree today. And as it was said, it was because all of you are here because of that. And that parade marshal is none other than past District 10 Commander Charles David. please come to the podium? On behalf of District 10, we present to you, you'll always be a Legionnaire, and it is a Legionnaire watch for our appreciation. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. We will have remarks by the representative for Honorable Stacy E. Plaskett, delegate to Congress, and that would be Candida Rivera.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. As protocol has already been established, I would still like to say good afternoon, Governor Bryan. Good afternoon, Senator Francis, Director Farrell, Ms. Rosario, and today's honoree, Mr. David, our distinguished guests, and most importantly, good day to all my veterans. As some of you may know, I am Candia Rivera, the Military and Veteran Liaison for the Office of Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett. It is an honor to be here on behalf of Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett and also as a U.S. Army veteran. Veterans Day. Let us stop for a second and repeat that together. Veterans Day. Veterans Day is not just another holiday, it is a time like today, where we pay our respect to all the men and women who have served our great nation in uniform. Look all around us. Whether you realize it or not, our veterans come from all walks of life. They're our friends, our neighbors, our relatives, and some of our colleagues. I would like to take this time out to acknowledge the families who remain behind the fight to fight their battles on their own. Let us all continue to fight together and to make our sacrifice known. We owe you our thanks and we owe you our respect. That is why Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett is committed to continue the fight. Earlier this year in Congress has passed the Sergeant First Class Helt Robinson honoring the PACT Act of 2022. This critical legislation seeks to address the issues impacting our veterans' access to earned benefits and care. I am proud to say that Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett also successfully advocated for an amendment to the PACT Act of 2022, which will now require the Government Accountability Office to study the access and barriers to the benefits and services furnished by the Department of Veterans Affairs for veterans in the U.S. territories. The Congresswoman would like you to know that she sees you, that she hears you, and is actively working to address the matters that are most important to you, our nation's hero. In closing, let us all show an extra amount of appreciation today. I would like to repeat that again. Let us all show an extra amount of appreciation today. Let us sit in comfort of our stories and help those who may need. May God bless who all have served and still do. May God bless the Virgin Islands. Thank you.
Thank you. We have something a little special right now. I would ask that the president for the Auxiliary Unit 102 come to the podium. And I would also ask Commander Rosario, would you please come to the podium? The Vice President, yes, is here.
Good afternoon. It's an honor. It's an honor. Here you go, Mama. It's an honor. And when Auxiliary Unit 102 found out that we have a female commander for the department, I said, we're going to do something special. We're going to step up and stand up. So we are here with my vice president. No need to announce who she is. She just did. A plaque. Read it.
Presented to Carmen Rosario, American Legion, Department of Puerto Rico, keynote speaker, Veterans Day celebration, November 11th, 2022, St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands, in appreciation of the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 102, St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. Thank you.
Welcome to St. Croix. Welcome. You want to go on the other side? She gonna... First female commander in 99 years. I must stress it. She broke the glass ceiling.
Hallelujah. In addition to be a Legionnaire, she is also an auxiliary member, just as the vice president of our auxiliary is also a Legionnaire, and also myself. We all have dual membership. Now, please stand. You know you have to stand when I introduce our governor of these United States Virgin Islands, the Honorable Albert Bryan, Jr.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Is it on?
Yes, it's on.
Please be seated. Good afternoon, Senate President, Vice President, they're promoting you already. Novell Francis, good afternoon. Ms. Rivera, Officer of the Delegate. Good afternoon to our Honorable David, Past Commander David is being honored today, and to our special guest speaker, Ms. Carmen Rosario. Good afternoon. You know, it was in St. Thomas today. It was really nice. I got to march in the parade. I wanted to march in this one too, but the plane was late. But Leslie Reimer read this. This one is better. There we go. Leslie Reimer read it, and it's in the letter from the Senate President, Donna Fred Gregory. I wanted to say it because it was so deep when he said it, and it resonated with me. It's a soldier, not the reporter, who gives you the freedom of the press. It is the soldier, not the poet, who gives you freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the campus organizer, who allows you to demonstrate. It is the soldier who salutes the flag, serves the flag, whose coffin is draped with a flag that allows the protester to burn the flag. I thought it was so deep and resonant. On a day like today, I would like to say Happy Veterans Day and thank you for your service to all of our veterans. It is a very important today, and it warmed my heart to see how many people came out. I don't often do this, but I'm going to big up the politicians today, because I am truly impressed, and I think the community should be how many politicians, win or lose, showed up today to honor our veterans. Because you know they disappear after the election. People always say, oh, all of you politicians disappear after the election. But so many of us thought it important to come. It was the same thing in St. Thomas. I think it shows the commitment of the men and women who run for office in this community, win or lose, and what they mean and what veterans means to them. For me, it's a special thing as well too. Over the last year, I kept reminding myself that this may be the last Memorial Day I preserve over. This may be the last 4th of July I preserve over. But thanks to you and the veterans, I got 4 more of these with y'all. I also want to highlight something that our guest speaker said, and great minds think alike. We often talk about the veterans and the wars they fought, but we haven't had conflict on American soil in over 130 years. And lately I've just been thinking about the Ukraine and what people over there are going through. I mean, it was one thing for an invasion and you watch it on CNN, but these people had a level of lifestyle just like us. Imagine waking up one day to real missiles landing, friends missing, nowhere to get groceries because the grocery store is blown up, power is off for weeks on end, no one coming to your rescue. When you think about that, you really have to appreciate the freedom that we enjoy in this country. And that's a serious debt of gratitude. I mean, can you imagine leaving your house and soldiers are out shooting and firing missiles after one another? It's almost unimaginable in this country. But it could happen but for the brave men and women that stand as that wall against invasions or threat of any freedom, not only for Americans, but for people worldwide. And when you think about who this country is, I remember Mia Motley said during the pandemic that the world was missing a leader, and that leader usually came from America. And I truly believe that if we had a great leader at the helm of our country at the beginning of the pandemic, it would have been the end of the pandemic. Because we would have been able to gather leaders from all over the world and sit down and wipe it out really quickly. So it's not only wars that our veterans respond to. They respond in our time and other times of need in hurricanes, tsunamis. They go to settle conflicts and keep peace. It's truly, truly heroes, each one of them. And I like to say it's not only ones who fought the wars, but to go to war, you need to eat. You need people to cook. You need people to peel potatoes, wash latrines, gas cars, fix cars. Every single soldier and airman is important, just like in our community. It's a commitment to just do your job. And I think if we all took that commitment with us each and every day, the Virgin Islands would be so much better place. So today I salute our veterans, our men and women that have served unselfishly this country and who continue to do things in our community to enrich it, such as our honoree today, Mr. David. I bid you Godspeed, God bless you, love you, and have a fantastic afternoon.
Thank you, Governor. We will now have our benediction by Comrade Michael Torland from Post 85.
Legionnaires, uncover. Let us go forth into the world in peace and dedicated to our service. O Lord, let us hold fast that which is good, strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the needy and the afflicted, and honor all men. Let us love and serve the Lord, rejoicing in the power of his Spirit. And may God's blessing be with us and remain with us always. Amen.
Amen.
Cover, leave it in his.
Well, this concludes our ceremony today. But before we leave, you see that black truck behind, parking over there? There are some packages that we prepare for those that march during in the parade, but we have a lot left over. So please help yourself to one, okay? And thank you again for coming.
Go
ahead, sir.
Sorry, I forgot to say it. This week in the territory and gracing us with a present today was the Secretary of Interior, Secretary Deb Holland, and she announced that all veterans now can enter every national park in the country for free. She was giving out passes in St. Thomas. She was on her way to St. John, but she said that all you have to do is go on to the DOI website and the National Park website, and they can direct you to where you can get those passes so you and your families can enjoy our national parks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Drive safe.